And welcome back to Start Kicking. So, first of all, I'd like to say I have decided that I'm going to do Start Kicking on the first and third Monday of every month, and I thought I'd start it properly this week, despite doing it last week as well, because then it puts me in the sort of mindset of when to do it. And I would also just quickly like to say that Apocalypse Z got funded, which is awesome. It's a game that I am really excited for, but unfortunately I didn't think it was going to get funded, and it turns out they got the last amount they needed in the last 44 seconds of their campaign. So there's some good news, and if I'm allowed to, I'll ask in a bit. I will try and get some gameplay out for you guys in September when it's released and sent to me. Okay, so I've got 3 games for you guys today. Unfortunately, I've only been able to back one of them, for the simple fact that I am fairly low on money, especially as I spent about £10 last week, and I spent another 18 to 20 this week, and I was going to try and stay to 20 a month, but that didn't work out very well. But from now on, I am going to be sticking to that 20 a month. Anyway, so the one that I funded is called VoidSpace. It's an MMORPG, which stands for Massive Multiplayer Online Role-Playing Game, and it's games like World of Warcraft or RuneScape or something like that. You must have seen them. And it's in space, obviously, hence the name VoidSpace. And it's playable on every modern computing device, and that's their phrase, is every modern computing device. And from what I can tell, they mean tablets, phones, consoles, PCs, and handheld devices. Obviously, you'll need an internet connection on them, but it's pretty awesome that you can all just play on one. I'm assuming it's a one big server with everyone with everything. It's kind of, again, like Apocalypse Z in the sense that you can just play with everyone. You don't need this big fancy gaming PC to be able to play it. And so, like other MMORPGs, it's an open world, and you can play any role, which is kind of different, because quite a lot of the time you have to choose a role to play, like a healer or a combatant. I don't know, I don't really play MMORPGs that much, but I'm really excited for this one. Anyway, so you can play sort of like you can go around as a pirate, you can just go around and loot other people, you can attack other people, you can be a leader of an army effectively, you can be a teacher, an inventor, you can be anything. The possibilities are effectively endless. And something that's really interesting is that there is no AI to begin with. There is nothing pre-done other than resources available for mining, and that's about it. Anything you find that's been built has been built by a previous player, and has either been abandoned because they were attacked, or for whatever reason they just left it and moved on, and now it's just abandoned sitting there and you can go and loot it. But it's kind of cool that there will be nothing when you first log in other than asteroids to mine. But an AI will take over from you when you go offline, meaning that you can play, or you won't play, but you'll set up things for your AI to do, like travel long distances or continue a huge building project you can continue to do while you're offline, and then you can check in on it later. And that's a pretty smart idea, and you can set the AI to sort of play defensively, so that if you get attacked it'll just defend itself, or you could set it to aggressive, or you can just set it to avoid combat completely, so that you won't be interrupted and killed while you're not even there. And moving forward is the fact that quests aren't set out for you. Because there's no AI, there's nothing to set you quests, and so the quests that you get are things that people want you to do. So you can say to someone, can you go and do this for me? Can you go and find me this? Can you go and kill this person? And if they want to accept the quest, they can do. But it's just really interesting that nothing is predetermined. It is all what you want to do, or what someone else wants you to do, assumably in exchange for payment. And following on from that, because there's nothing stopping you, you can set up businesses, you can literally do anything you want. You can just sort of sell information, you can sell anything to anyone. And real money trading is encouraged, it's allowed. You can spend money on the game and trade it for someone to give you something if you want to. You don't just have to use in-game credits. And then going into sort of like the technical side, is running this thing called the Universe Engine, which is something they are designing specifically for this game. And what it means is that everything is unique, every invention is unique. So the way that inventions work is your character will randomly come up with prototype design ideas based on your needs, experience, and resources. So if you need, say, a bigger storage container for your ship, then your character at some point may come up with a larger cargo hold idea. and you will be the only person to have that exact cargo hold. Say it can be like the amount of energy required to build it, plus the amount it can carry and all that kind of stuff. It will all be specific for your invention. No one else will have exactly the same thing. Someone else may have a similar thing, like a larger cargo hold that needs a different amount of energy to make and a different amount of resource it can carry, but it will never be exactly the same, and that is crazy. And the fact that, think about how many thousands of people could be playing this game and no one will ever have the same thing as you, because everything is random, so at least one thing will be different every single time. And the only way that other people can learn this thing you have is if you teach it to them and you can charge them for it, or you, as mentioned earlier, you can make a business out of it by selling it to people without telling them how to do it. It's just, it's mind-blowing when you think about it, really. Okay, now I'm going to move into the money side of this, which is where it gets kind of serious, I guess. So it needs $275,000, and it's got 26 days left, and it has at the moment $5,758. So obviously it needs a good amount more. But because there's still a long time to go, I'm hoping with as much coverage as this can get, we'll be able to get this thing funded, because I'm really excited for this game. I don't normally like MMORPGs, but this one looks crazy good. And to get the actual game itself, you need to, for the full game, you need to get you need to pledge $35. That is the amount that they are charging for the full game upon release, I believe. Actually, no, it's not even upon release, it's in pre-alpha. So the best part about it for me is the fact that you will get it immediately, or almost immediately. If you pay $35, you will get the pre-alpha full game, and then the full game, the alpha and beta, when it all comes out. I've made sure of this because I didn't want to have to pay $35 then pay for the full game later. You get the pre-alpha in August 2014. So you pay it and then you get to play it almost immediately. But the cheaper ones, so the things below $35, will get you access to small or private servers, mostly upon full release, some in alpha and beta stages, so later on this year, early next year. I think the full game's set to come out in 2016 or something because of the hugeness of it, which is why the alpha and beta are so cool. And so yeah, you won't be able to play the full game, you'll still be able to play the game itself. And a huge thing to remember here, and my last point for this, is the fact that there is no subscription fee. You pay the $35 and you have the game. There is no pay $9 a month or pay $15 a month or whatever amount they charge. There is none of that. It is literally just pay for the game, and you've got it. You're done. You can play. And I think this game sounds fantastic, and I will put a link to all of them in the description as always, so that you can go and have a look and hopefully fund them. So now I'm going to move on to my second game called Sheltered. I haven't funded this one, as I said, because I simply don't have enough money this month, and that really annoys me. But it's set in like in a post-apocalyptic world after like a nuclear war or something like that. And you, your wife and your 2 children are in a bunker, a nuclear bunker underground. And you basically just have to manage your life and survive. So you face troubles like starvation, dehydration and radiation poisoning. And you have moral decisions you have to make about helping survivors that you come across. And you have to determine whether they be a threat or whether you think it's a good idea to bring them into your family, and these moral decisions can really mess up your life. If someone's hostile and you let them in, then you're in trouble, and etc, etc. But you can also send these people out in place of you to go and find supplies outside, because you normally need to go out and find supplies outside of your bunker to go and ensure your family survives, whereas you can send these other people out as well to get more supplies and those kinds of things. But the another key thing here is the fact that if you slip up even once, you can screw over your whole game. So if you go outside and then don't decontaminate yourself before you come back in, you're probably gonna die, and so's everyone in the bunker, because you just let in a load of radiation. And that's quite a cool thing about this game, but one little slip up, you've got to be really careful with what you do, because you really can't mess up or you'll lose. And that sounds pretty cool to me. So moving again into the money side, they have got 11,277 pounds of £15,000 needed. So they're nearly there, and they still have 18 days to go. So this is looking pretty promising, and if this game sounds good to you, the likelihood is it's going to be funded by the looks of it. So go and pledge on that game, go and put the money in, and get your game release. The third and final game, which again I have not funded, again lack of money, is called Turnover, and I was really upset that I couldn't fund this one because I think it looks just kind of cool, kind of quirky. I haven't seen much like it before. So it's a top-down kind of 2D stealth game where you have been trapped in a building after a hostile takeover in a futuristic America, and you just have to make it out alive. And so you've got to sort of wait for patrols of guards and things like that to go past before you sneak around them, and you've got to sneak past turrets and sentries and things like that. But it's not just sort of creeping around their line of sight, you've also got to use them to your advantage. You can distract them or get them to fight each other and things like that. And it's just a really kind of odd looking but really cool game, I think, and you just sort of need patience and wit to sneak past the patrols and cameras and things like that, and sentries and turrets. But you can also seek aid from sort of IT workers and other people to help you escape, so they can shut off security cameras or they can take out the enemy guard for you while you sneak past. I don't know, it just looks pretty cool. So again, getting into the money side, we've got $264 of $800 pledged with only 10 days to go. So it's getting close, and it needs some support to get there. And I think it can get there, and I think it'll be a pretty good game if it does get there. But I think it needs to be seen by more people. So that's it for me, guys. That's all of my 3 done for this week. I hope you like at least the look of some of them, maybe 1 or 2 of them. And again, links are all in the description for the Kickstarter campaigns. And I will see you in a couple of weeks for the next Start Kicking, or on Thursday for the next Theme Thursday. Alright, thanks very much. Bye.